What is happening, guys? We're Craig and Amy and you are watching Getting It!
Last year we went to the Philippines and it was the most incredible place ever. If you haven't seen our top 10, click up here to check that out.
So this video right here, right now, is how, what is it? Is for anyone planning a trip to the Philippines.
So how expensive is the Philippines? That is what we're going to be chatting about. We're going to give you a rough idea based on all the stuff that we did, just so you can make a budget. So it's always good to know, isn't it? Like how much is a bottle of Coke? How much is a bed in a dorm?
Yeah, so we always get asked loads of different questions on this. You know, a lot of people are traveling, they really want a budget, they want to know how much things are. Because I guess you just wouldn't have a clue if you've never been. So here we are, Craig and Amy, here to help.
We'll start with accommodation. So if you go into the Philippines, you're either rich AF or you're poor like us. So you can stay anywhere from a really flash fancy hotel like this one,
or a little Harry Potter cupboard like this one. How is it?
It's big.
I can't open the door, I can't open the door.
Bag in the way.
Oh, it's massive. Absolutely massive, Craig.
So for something like the Bellevue Resort, it cost about £120 for a night to stay there.
But you really do get what you paid for. It was sensational.
If you're traveling as a couple, you can get a shared room from like £10 to about £15 a night.
It depends where you are, really, because there's so many different parts of the Philippines and some are more expensive than others. And by expensive, I mean, you know, it's £6, not £3. So it isn't really that expensive.
Strange little room. He told us this was the kitchen, but I don't see any cooking facilities anywhere. Got a light? Nope.
But yeah, your average sort of shared room in, say, El Nido. How much did we pay for El Nido?
Shared room? What's a shared room?
You share with me. Double room.
Hi babes, have you got any shared rooms?
I like to share with my friends, so
shared room.
So a double room, but it was £12 a night, which is very expensive. I know it isn't, but for the Philippines. Obviously El Nido is a real touristy place to go, so they do bump up the prices a little bit.
It's hit and miss really, it depends where you're staying. If you're staying somewhere like Boracay or El Nido, you're going to be paying more for less.
But if you are backpacking and doing it the right way that you should be, trying to get it all on the cheap, you can stay in a dorm room for like £6.
Yeah, £3 to £6 in most places. So just do your research before you go. There's loads on offer. You can even stay on a private island like we did in El Nido if you're proper rich. Amy's favourite subject, food. She found the bakery. She's going ham.
So the highlight of your time in Southeast Asia is probably going to be spent eating. For me, it really was. We had some great stuff. They've got the best food going and you can get some real cheap stuff for like £1 on the street. Not on the floor, like in the stalls and stuff. So we're at dinner. We're not sure.
So if you're in touristy places, street food is still the cheapest way to go if you want to take a risk and make sure you got some Emodia if you're going to test out the street food.
Imodium and Diorite were like my best friends because Craig never gets sick. Oh no, it's never Craig. It's just me, just me.
But you'll be fine as long as it looks like reasonably safe and the guy looks like he's washed his hands, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Now don't be getting a scooter and doing what Amy did. But honestly, we cannot recommend getting a scooter more highly enough.
A lot of people are worried about getting scooters, but just take your time, have a slow, you know, get the guy to teach you, take it slowly. And also, most places you have to leave a passport, and there's a lot of people who have been asking us lately, like, is that okay, is it safe to leave your passports? We literally left our passports every time we rented one, didn't we? Yeah.
All I have to say about that is just have a little Google of the place you're going to rent it from. If they've got really bad reviews, don't go to them. You know, you hear stories of people getting their passports taken off them and stuff, blah, blah, blah. If you've done nothing wrong and you even mention the police, they'll give your passport straight back. Take pictures of the scooter before you go, because then when you bring it back, if there's scuffs on it and they were there before, they can't charge you.
The Philippines is a bit more expensive than most places in Southeast Asia, like Thailand and Bali, for example. And you're looking at like 300 to 450 pesos per day to rent a scooter.
But remember guys, you gotta barter.
If you're a pussy, then you'll have to get a tricycle. Tricycles are the Filipino version of a tuk-tuk. It's like a little 3-wheeled bike with a little cover in the back.
And a chauffeur.
Yeah, so if it rains, you'd be fine.
These are super cheap. You just flag them down on the side of the road and they'll cost about 50 pesos for like a 10-minute drive.
Prices do vary. Places like Boracay have got like systems where if you go in further it costs more obviously, but that's the same everywhere. So just ask the driver or ask in your hostel first, like how much should I be paying, or in your hotel.
And remember, always barter. So the Philippines is made up of, is it over 7,000 islands?
Yeah, how mad is that?
Crazy. So you're gonna need to get a few boats from place to place. And these are super cheap as well, aren't they? They obviously take a little bit more time than if you were to fly.
We got a few, and one time this guy whipped out a hacksaw and started cutting one of the pipes mid-boat ride.
Oh yeah, that one was dodgy. That was like a 7-hour boat trip and we were on, literally sat on wood. It was hard work. So for example, a boat from Cebu to Bohol is going to cost you around 400 pesos per person if you're on the top deck, or if you want to go underneath and have aircon, it's around £500. No, it's not. It's 500 pesos.
Rocking ever so slightly. I'm a little bit worried.
I should also mention that if you're getting any boats in the Philippines, then take some travel sickness tablets. People have told crazy stories about them like spewing their guts up, but they're honestly not that bad. But I took sort of like Boots' own brand travel sickness tablets and I was absolutely fine. I was really anxious about getting those boats actually, but there was nothing to worry about.
You can get boats from pretty much anywhere to anywhere. If you are a nutter and you want to get a boat from Manila to like El Nido or Coron or Cebu, which is usually around 24 hours.
Good luck to you.
You can actually do that, and it is the cheapest way to travel, but the only problem is it takes a lot of time. So if you've got a short amount of time in the Philippines and you want to like capitalize on that, don't waste your time with boats, just pay a bit more and get a flight.
Sorry, environment.
So for example, if you were going to get a flight from Manila to Coron, it's going to cost you about 5,000 to 6,000 pesos per person. But if you want to get a boat, a ferry, it's going to cost about 1,000 pesos per person for the Super Saver. So you can imagine what that's like.
Yeah, and that's just us typing in two of the same dates and coming up with those prices. So they may vary like big time for the flights, but yeah. Bottom line, it's a lot more expensive to fly. Yeah, just keep an eye on Cebu Pacific because they do amazing deals. Sometimes you can get flights for like £5 to £10, which is unreal. Yeah. If you're on the bigger islands, then you're going to have to get buses to get around, especially if you go to El Nido, because you'll fly into Puerto Princesa and then you need to get a bus from there up to El Nido, which is about 6 hours. Oh, I don't know, I wasn't alive for most of it. Amy fainted about half an hour into the journey. So we got conned and we got a minibus which cost 500 pesos per person for an aircon minibus. It was aircons, but what they do is they just pack you in. So you're like, oh, this is great, there's like 9 people. It ends up being like 12 people with all their bags stacked up. Amy... Well, we were so far back that we didn't feel the aircon. And then, yeah, we just got the van to stop. I fell out of it onto the floor. I lost my glasses as well, that was a bummer. So if you don't want to get a minibus, you can get the cherry bus, which is way cheaper. Well, it's like 100 pesos cheaper. You get your own 2 seats with loads of room and it's aircon as well. So, yes. So if you're going from Puerto Princesa to El Nido, get yourself on the cherry bus. So one of the main reasons that you're going to want to go to the Philippines is to do all of the crazy activities that they've got there. And this is going to eat up probably most of your budget. But this is what you're saving for, so you have to go all out on the activities. Eat noodles, but make sure you see the whale sharks. Do you know what I mean? Oh, yes, Craig. So one of the greatest things you can do in the Philippines is island hopping. And 2 of the best places to do that is either in El Nido or Coron, or just do both like us. El Nido costs about 1,900 pesos per person to do Tour A with a kayak. It's slightly cheaper without a kayak, but that's about the average price for Tour A, isn't it? Yes. We also did the ultimate tour in Coron, which was about 950 pesos per person, and that was brilliant, wasn't it? It was class, and it's slightly cheaper than El Nido. I think El Nido gets a lot more tourists, so Coron's a little bit quieter. But El Nido was sensational. But Coron was better. I liked El Nido Coron a lot more. I think Coron. It was best. So good. The next sought after activity in the Philippines is canyoneering in Moalboal. Oh no, it's in Badian, isn't it? Yeah, but don't shit yourself like I did. Like, it is super safe and you don't have to jump off major things. So if there's only 2 of you crazy kids that want to participate in the canyoneering, it's going to cost you about 2,700 pesos per person. But obviously, the more you add to your team, the lower the price goes, which is really cool.
You also get a meal with that.
You also get a meal with that.
The other glorious thing to do in the Philippines is whale shark diving, but make sure you do it in Donsol and not in Oslob.
Oh, my favourite day on planet Earth this was. I absolutely loved it.
Okay, so let's see then. We're really ready. I'm really scared. Oh, there's a big shadow. I don't think you can see it. Wow! Great, look.
The first time we went, we got ripped off. And if you're watching this, lovely lady, thanks for ripping us off. But it's supposed to be a total of 3,500 pesos for the whole boat. So if you get a team of 6, you split that up. It's way cheaper.
7 you can fit in there.
7, you can fit 7 people in there. But the first time we did it, I think we paid like 1,500 pesos per person.
Yeah.
And there were 7 of us, so she was like all the way to the bank. So go directly to the tourist information centre and book it there, because that's the cheapest place to do it.
Yeah. That doesn't include your snorkeling gear, but they do like sell it right outside the tourism centre and it's super cheap, so you don't have to go far to look for it.
Yeah, it's like 100 pesos for like a snorkel and 100 for your flippers.
And make sure you get the good ones though, because if they leak, wreck your day, mate.
Or what I would do if you're going to go to the Philippines and you like snorkeling, just buy yourself a badass snorkel set.
100%, yeah.
I said it to Amy before we were going. I was like, I need to buy a snorkel set. She's like, no, you don't.
No, but you look at ones at like £1,500 and I'm like, you don't need that though. Another brilliant day that you have to do is helmet diving in Boracay.
Sorry it's so close right now, but this is actually amazing.
So your man wanted about 800, 900 pesos, but we bartered because we're good at that, and we got it down to 450, which was super cheap and such a brilliant experience.
£3 each to walk on the ocean floor. Will you please?
Sick.
A great and glorious activity is stand-up paddleboarding on the Lobok River. We did it in Bohol and it cost 2,100 pesos per person with a banging meal at the end as well. So we did the Waterfall Tour. And it was just a great day out, wasn't it?
Yeah, it takes like what, 2 to 4 hours?
Yeah.
And it is a little bit strenuous, but it is all flat. But obviously, you know, if you don't work out, like me, it's a little bit hard on the old arms. So just be careful. So if you go to the Philippines, you have to do the zipline that's in El Nido.
That's in El Nido.
This will cost you around 500 pesos one way, or in the summer they do 2 ways for 900. Or if you fancy it and want to do like a little Superman way where you go down on your belly, that's about 700 pesos. It is
it?
Brilliant. And it was the best time. Why are you laughing at me for? You put me off.
Sorry.
But it is like genuinely brilliant. You're so high, you know, just go past the sort of safety of the Philippines. This is fine.
Next up, turtle and dolphin watching in Bohol.
Brilliant.
Best day out ever. It costs about 1,950 pesos per person to do that tour, but it is the best day out you will ever have.
It was worth every penny for sure.
So that is it. There are breakdowns of all the prices in the Philippines. If you're a hardcore budgeter, I reckon you could probably do it on £15 per day. But if you're like us and your little princesses, probably like £30 to £40 a day, and you can live like a king.
Yeah, we're terrible. Like, Craig will see something and he'll be like, oh, that's really nice. I'm like, you should get it. Like, we don't ever be like, no, we've got no money, like, you shouldn't. Like, we're always just like, yeah, whatever. But I did buy 3 swimsuits for 20 pence. Can I get a hell yeah?
Like all places, you can do it on a proper budget if you want, but just go and have a great time. But it's always good to just have that budget, do you know what I mean? You're like, this is how much money I've got per day. If you save that money and then you like put money aside for your activities, then you know you're going to be sweet.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for the information, Craig.
Oh, you're so welcome. So if you're brand spanking new, you just found King in it, thanks for watching our video. Make sure you press subscribe and press the little bell so you get notifications for our new ones.
Yeah, thanks a bunch, guys. And if you're not new and you've stuck with us from the start, we bloody love you. Everybody, always remember, rule your own world.
1, 2, 3, bye!
Flores.